Hello and welcome to another episode of Man of the Forest, and it's another cider making adventure today. I've normally got my friend Chris helping me. He's a great help, picking apples and pressing with me, but his car won't start, so it looks like I'm making a start on my own today, which means everything takes twice as long. So I'm just going to show you my setup, starting with sacks of apples. So I've got various things going on here. Yeah, these are a lot of majors, Somerset red streaks and Brown's apple in here. These are all red streaks that I picked yesterday. Some of these are beautiful. Look at that. Stunning apples. So here's the washing station. It's just filled with water. Tipped in 3 sacks. Push them all around just to get them nicely washed, don't get any crap off them, and then you can sort out any bad ones. There's a bit of bruising on that one. It's not too bad though, to be fair. They should mostly be alright because they've been picked very quickly, recently I should say. The big ones are quick to pick. The small ones take a little longer. Here's my mill. This is a Spiegel mill. It's a Knobsschneidmühl or something like that. So what I do is the apples get washed in the bath, and then using a basket to drain them, they'll get tipped into the mill. It will mill it up into lots of little bits. I'll fill 2 buckets, and then I'll tip the buckets into the press. So here we can see there's a slatted board and a square frame. I'll put a cloth in the square frame, tip 2 buckets of pulp in, fold the cloth over, take the frame off, put another slatted board. There's all my slatted boards. I've been cleaned after the last pressing. Another slatted board will go on top, the square will go back on, another cloth will go in the square, fill it up, fold the cloth over, take the frame off, another slatted board goes on, blah blah blah. So yeah. And I'll build it up to 9 layers. The juice will come out into here. I've got a little filter on the end. It's a coarse filter, just to take out any bits that might fall in. So yeah, here's the press. It's a bit of a beast, and I call it the beast. So yeah, this will be full up to, well, pretty high, and then I'll put a stainless steel tray on top and a big heavy board, which are these things here, and then I'll put the chocks on top, and then I'll start pumping. So this is a hand power pack. Pump this by hand, and this causes the rams to go up. So yeah, that's how we do it. Obviously I've got to keep an eye on how much juice is in these, because I've got to then swap that pipe into the next barrel, and this has got to be full to a point where I can lift it. You can get a bit more juice in if there's 2 of you, and then carry it into the cider barn, this is where the magic happens. And I've got a barrel here ready, clean barrel ready to fill up with juice. So I'm hoping that from one pressing I will fill that 220 litre barrel. Yeah. Incidentally, here's some of my ciders. Yep, I've got a bit of stock, running out on a few varieties. Oh, just noticed a little robin, my little good luck. And he's gone. So anyway, that's the setup. Let's see if I can set my phone up somewhere to do a bit of time lapse, and you can watch me working away. I should also add, it's quite cold this morning, so yeah, the water's going to make my hands quite cold. But that is the nature of the job. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so I made a good start. You might have noticed that sometimes when I'm pouring apples down this, the apples are getting stuck in the chute, and then I'm sort of hitting the on both sides, just to get the apples to fall down. It can be quite frustrating. And obviously in doing that, I vibrated it so that it came off its legs. It's on legs just to make the spout high enough so it goes in the bucket there. So what I'm doing is I'm pouring 2 buckets into the press. I guess you'd call this a pack press or a cloth and rack press. I'm pouring 2 buckets in, and then I'm trying to get it spread pretty evenly into all around the frame. There we go. So you can see that we already have juice. It goes out the spout there, down the pipe, and we already have what, 20 litres or thereabouts in there. Not a bad start. So yeah, I'm 3 levels up. 1, 2, 3. Buckle my shoot, as a wise man once said. And I'm literally just folding the cloths over. I often see on these forums people asking about where do you get your cloths from, and you can buy them from the companies that supply fruit pressing equipment. Quite expensive. These are literally just cotton dust sheets from Wicks that I've cut to size, and I've never had any problem with them. Probably get 3 years use out of them, which isn't bad. And then I've got to take the frame off. Oh, the other thing, the important part of this is trying to get everything as level and upright as possible. So when I'm putting the slatted boards on, I'm sort of measuring it with my fingers like this, making sure it's kind of similar on each side. Same when I put the frame on, I'm kind of making sure it's central, lining it up with what I can see on this side of the cloth below. So everything wants to be as perpendicular as possible. Then I've got to take the frame off, which is quite hard to do with one hand because you want to lift it up evenly. There we go. Put that there for a moment. And then I'm going to put another slatted board on top. And up we go. So, yeah, I'll stick you back on time lapse. So at this point in the video, it'd be really nice to add some music, a bit of a soundtrack, a nice kind of uppity song going on in the background. But for some reason, the video's decided to add its own sort of percussion. It's sort of, and I don't know where that's come from or what that's all about. So thought maybe I'd just kind of leave it. I quite like it in a way. Enjoy. Okay, so there we have it. The press is fully loaded. I'll put the boards, well, first couple of chocks on the top. You see we've got a steady stream of juice coming out just from under its own pressure. I've already emptied a couple of these. I've had to top up a barrel that I pressed the other day, needed topping up. Yeah, because you want quite a small air gap at the top when you fill these barrels up. Air is the enemy. Air is the enemy when it comes to alcohol. So I'd probably want to, if I was filling one of these up, I'd fill it up to about here, around about here. Anyway, my battery's really low, so yeah, I'm gonna get my phone on charge for a moment, and then I'll start jacking this up. Okay, so I've just let it squash down under its own weight. Managed to get a couple of boards in the top, a couple of chocks. I've emptied these 2 barrels. That one's already filling up again. A few inches at the bottom of there. So now, flick this switch, and I'm going to start pumping. And this is the fun bit. The first bit with the mill, loading it, it's quite intensive. When there's 2 of us, we can go pretty quickly. I can keep up with Chris milling the fruit, filling these and getting the levels, the layers on. Building up the cheese, as they call it. Oh, incidentally, these wooden slatted boards I made myself. They're made from ash, which can take getting wet and then dry, wet and dry without splitting. So yeah, they've lasted me, I've had these going for 10 years or so. Might have noticed a little wasp there. Now the wasps, they tend not to bother you. They're only after the juice. Really, you get the odd hornet as well. I tend to steer clear of them because I don't want to be stung by all of them. But the main thing is just careful where you put your hands. Keep an eye out for them. Like I say, they won't really bother you. Anyway, let's get pumping. Juicy time. Juice flow. So, as I pump this, just bringing it around here, you'll see the rams starting to go up. That's lifting this whole tray. There we go, juice is flowing. Look at that. Really pouring off that one. That board's over slightly sticking out more than the other, so it's going straight off the end. Love that noise. Oh, pump it up, you got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, and don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, and don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, and don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, and don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, and don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, and don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Ooh, that's getting quite full. Right, let's put the phone on and swap over the barrels. Okay, so there we have it. It'll take a little while now to get the last bit of juice out. Got a lot of chocks in the top. You can see how far I've squashed it down. Yep. Oh, so yeah, that's kind of it really. Pretty simple. When I put the juice in the barrel, I'm pouring it in, so it's kind of aerating it. That'll give the yeast a good chance to get going. Natural yeast, that is. The wild yeast that's on and in the fruit, and probably all over my equipment. Probably got my own personal yeast culture from years of doing this. I don't add any kind of, packeted yeast. You can do, it will change the flavour no doubt. You can add champagne yeast, white wine yeast, I think cider yeast, which is derived from a wine yeast, I think. But there's really no need. I like to keep things simple. Let Mother Nature do the work, really. Well, obviously, I've done a fair bit of work. You can see there's a lot of lifting in this. And when you've been picking apples, bending over and all that, it does impact your back a bit. But yeah, there we go. Hope you've enjoyed this cider making video. I want to get another one of these done today, if I can. And I was also going to get the little press out, which you may have seen in my first cider making adventure video, how to make cider, episode 1. Because I've got these red apples here, a knotted kernel. I've not got very many, but enough to do a demijohn. I've got these apples here, which are actually a 106 MM106 rootstock tree. The graft didn't take, and the tree, I let it continue to grow, and it produces these big purple apples. So I'm going to do an experiment with them at some point. Do a little small batch of that and see how they come out as a single variety. Started picking the sweet Alfords off the floor, really contrasting in colour to these red ones. I've also got a load of Harry Masters Jersey, which I've never done a single variety with before. These are all single Harry Masters Jersey, and I've got quite a few more on the trees which I haven't picked yet. I've just been getting the ones off the floor. Stop them getting slugged while I pick the majors, Somerset Red Streaks, the Browns Apple. I've done the Ellis Bitter and the Fox Whelp. I've started picking the Dabnets off the floor, but not off the trees yet. I've got loads of those left to go. And that's about it for now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, oh yeah, stay juicy.